how did you, or how would you tell somebody else or advise somebody else on their mindset if they are struggling to get started in something because they're doing their job and they're comfortable, they know they need more, but they're scared of failing and they're struggling to pay their bills as it is. So where do they start to think about their mindset? Because I think that is the first thing they need to look at.
I think having a business, especially when you start, is very lonely. I had very few people to talk about anything that was going on mentally with me
Yeah.
on a bad day, or a competitor doing really well and it eats away at you, stuff like that. And I think have a really good support system around you. My family, of course, lives in Germany, so I talk to my dad a lot, non-horsey at all, which helps. I talk to my partner a lot, who's the sensible person in the relationship, thank God. And he reminds me sometimes of, which direction I should take. So I think having really good people around you, like I said earlier, trusting your gut, calm, and do your homework, do your research, give it your all, and then go that route instead of panicking and throwing it all away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does your partner do? Does he do something, or she, whoever it is? Does he do something which sort of aids your business, like helps you with the business, or I don't know what he does?
So he's a fencer. He works for a fencing company.
Okay.
He was a gamekeeper for many years, which he absolutely loved.
Yeah.
Very similar to the horse industry.
Okay.
Was, a really rich game. He absolutely loved it. He lived for the sport, same as I did. So we have a very similar mindset in regards to work. So
Yeah.
when we first started seeing each other, I was actually off with a broken collarbone. So that was great. Once I went back into work, we'd never see each other. And this has
Okay.
been going on for quite a long time. So we work. We are very supportive of our lifestyle,
Yeah.
and we're very understanding of that. So he is a fencer and does that 6 days a week. Long days, long hours. Enjoys it, but his main focus is properties now. So he's just starting to get into properties. He bought a property in Wales with his best friend that they refurbed, and it's currently on the market. So
Okay.
fingers crossed.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So he's trying to get into that. So
Yeah.
we have similar mindsets. We want to do our own thing. We want to be our own boss
Yeah.
in the long run. And it's not about, he would agree to this, I think, it's not about making as much money as possible. This is not what having a business is about. I don't want to, I don't have to go out and buy myself a Rolex and a flashy car. That's not how you make and maintain money. For me, like I said to you earlier, it's about having the freedom of choice, how I'm going to plan my day today.
Absolutely.
And that is luxury for me.
Yeah. You're building something for yourself and your
Yeah.
life rather than for someone else's life.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're employed, you're just a number. You
Mm.
are just a number. Of course, it's all very safe and regulated, and you are in a safer position. And, that's where we're speaking about comfort zone again. Leaving that and starting your own business is tricky because why would you? But also, you're just a number. And especially in the horse industry, you are so easily replaced. It takes one accident, it takes one wrong person to cross your paths. It's so out of your control. I've worked with trainers that have gone bust. No horses, they're gone.
Yeah.
No job anymore.
Absolutely.
There you go. In a heartbeat. So it's so quickly done, yeah.
That brings me on, actually, I'd like to just talk about that because you've got experience working in, racing yards. I don't know what you call that, but most people call it grooms.
Yep.
What was that experience like for you? And I'll tell you why I'm asking the question, because there seems to be a theme at the moment, and I know it's not related to your business, but there's a theme where livery yards are struggling. They're struggling to keep staff. The staff are unhappy. There's, many people that have been working in livery yards are messaging me saying, "What can I do that's not in a livery yard when all I know is being a groom?"
Yeah.
So, what was your experience of being a groom first off?
It's a really hard life. It's really, really tough. I think talking about Newmarket is a beautiful place. It's stunning. I love it. But you have to be I think that is then relating to the wider horse industry. I think you have to be really careful who you surround yourself with. So I always preach this: no drugs, no alcohol, no gambling. I don't want to have anything to do with that. I, of course, have a glass of wine now and then, but but this whole partying scene, you get so stuck in it. And I've seen so many really talented riders in Newmarket losing their path completely, being stuck as a 30-year-old man, woman, whatever, partying every weekend, living from wages to wages, and they'll never leave. And I find that really sad, because having left Germany and traveled around the world, it is so good to do that. It's so important. It just changes everything for you. Yeah. So difficult. I think the racing world is really tough on you. I think especially more so as a girl. I don't want to go too deep into that. But yeah, I think when I first started, I was hopeless on a racehorse. I came from a dressage trade jumping background. I couldn't ride a racehorse to save my life. I think it took me about 6 months to hold one up the gallops in Germany. And the bullying that came with that was horrendous. I mean, I can remember it like it was yesterday. The things that were said to me, it was really rough, really, really rough. It's not so much over here. So luckily in the UK is all a bit more regulated in that sense. But Germany was extremely hard.
Right.
Yeah, really tough. That's why I was leaving after the apprenticeship. I had to get out because I couldn't cope with it anymore.
Okay. Yeah. And so do you think that culture that you've spoken about is just deeply embedded in the racing industry?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you have really young people coming from home, hopefully going to the racing school, which I would encourage everyone to do. I think doing a course there would be really beneficial to have a good startup in the racing world. But sometimes you get them straight into the racing ads and they're so green, they haven't got a clue. And there's a lot happening. It's long hours, it's tough days, rain or sun. It's just whatever you have to show up. It's, of course the pay has increased now, but as a young person starting racing, you don't earn a lot. Of course, physically wise, injuries. I've broken so many bones. I'm 30 now. My hip hurts when I walk my dog for an hour. I had 4 broken collarbones. Like, it's just the list is endless, So it takes a toll on you physically and mentally. Yeah, it's hard, but of course it's brilliant. I love the racing industry. There's so much good about it, and if you manage to live with that world and you are your own person, I think it's brilliant. I think it's really brilliant because it makes you a strong-minded person.
So when you say be your own person in that space, you mean not getting dragged into some of the other things that go on in there? Yeah,
I think that is a big issue these days because of social media. I think social media has ruined us in many ways. So, you see everyone partying when you're 16, 17 on social media. And of course, you want to do that too. And I get that. I've done my partying bit. It's where everyone has done. But when do you say no? I've been offered drugs many, many times in racing. And I've always been taught from my family, if you don't want to do something, you say no. Yeah. And that gets me in trouble. Yeah. But also, gets me out of situations like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that is a big part of me, where comparing it to other people that are probably 10 times more talented than I am in a business sense, I had the better mindset to say, I'm giving this 150%, which means every day you have to show up. Don't get distracted by the loud noise, by the social media, by the partying, the drugs, everything. So, I think that's quite important.
That makes sense.